It's clobberin time.
It's a ring thing, do your thing. There you go. Hello, Tom.
Hey, what's going on, Dana?
Not much. Just
I
hanging
like
out.
your shirt.
Thanks.
I
Need
like it.
some
I like it.
can I head down to Hazard County and get some barbecue?
Well, you'd be better off going there than the official Boar's Head plant.
Right, yeah,
Don't
especially
eat that stuff.
recently.
It's dangerous.
No, and that kind of broke my heart when I read that article. I was like, no,
When I,
I
when I
like my
see
cold cuts.
when I see boar's nest, I imagine like a boar taking over a chicken's nest. What a bully!
What a bully. Yeah, he's like they thought the cuckoos were bad, but a boar doing it.
Like they
I
stay with the eggs. Like you don't know how to handle these eggs. We'll take it from here.
mean,
Thanks.
right. You know what? It's funny. I can't name another cold cut company besides Boar's Head.
They don't
Uh,
exist.
so every one of those unnamed companies right now we're like, yes, Boar's
It's
Head's going down.
yeah, it's all brand name stores like Jolly Farm brand, chicken brand, boar meat product.
Right,
They are
right.
dancing right now. So I'm sure everyone came here for Boarhead Talk on another
Right.
episode of Two Guys Talking
Yes.
Toys.
Two guys talking deli sandwiches.
So what have you been up to?
Not a lot. Helped my neighbor transplant some apple trees today, so got in a
Oh,
little manual labor. So it was good.
now
It was a
how
beautiful day
how
for it.
large how large were these trees? Were they
Uh,
were
not not that big. Not that big. Couple of years old, just barely fruiting.
so I'm picturing that Looney Tunes kind of depiction where you just grabbing them, ripping them out by the roots, taking them, just walking them off wherever.
Right. Like whenever the Hulk gets in a fight in Canada.
Just just ripping out trees.
Yeah.
Like, stop with
Uh
those.
yeah. Did you transplant anything today?
I transplanted a lot of things into my brain. This was a
From
pretty good.
where?
This, thankfully, none of these were illegal substances. They were all very legal. Um, I actually had a pretty good day. I got up, did some overtime, so more money is always enjoyable. Then went to did my target runs from work to random multiple targets and talked myself out of buying a lot of Masterverse stuff because I do really want more Masterverse stuff, but like right now
Who
there's other
doesn't?
stuff going on, like the Mon stores Kickstarter has started, so I'm kind of trying to save up money for that because of course they have glow in the dark special Kickstarter exclusives, and of
Of
course they
course.
have clear Kickstarter exclusives. So good job, Mon stores. You have my money. It's
Right, because what
whenever the Kickstarter
happens
ends,
in
I'm
those
going.
creative meetings, they're like, well, do we really need glow in the dark? Because like, what's our target market here? And then some guy goes, Tom, and two guys talking toys, and they're like, you're right.
Tom really likes glow in the dark. I
If you
just
want your toys mentioned on two guys talking toys, make them glow in the dark.
see, Tom McFarlane's very upset right now. I haven't purchased his giant glowing Joker. I haven't purchased his glowing Batmobile. And he was like, "What do I have to do? I guess nothing. I guess I'm just not
Right,
going to bother anymore."
right, yeah.
Um, but,
We've
but I
lost
did.
Tom.
But I did my Target run, and then as I was heading to Walmart's last because
The
you know
Walmarts.
it was Walmart. So I was like, well, I've looked through Targets. Let me head to Walmart. And my nephew, who's awesome, all my nephews are awesome. And they prove it in different ways. They prove it in different ways every day. Today, my oldest nephew sent me like I'm heading from Target to whatever Walmart, and he and my sister happened to be there, and he sent me a text of these guys.
Oh
These
wow.
Yeah, so these are I guess like the Walmart mass release version of what was originally the San Diego Comic Con exclusive Eastman and Laird sketch Ninja Turtles. The it's it's kind of funny that it almost seems backwards that the black and white and red is
Black and
the
white and red
mass
all
release.
over.
Yeah, a little, pretty much. And the exclusive ones are green and red.
Right.
They're somewhere in here. I'm not quite sure where, but he sent me a pic of these, and he's like, "These are at Walmart." And I was like, "Oh, I am like 12 minutes away." So he waited there, and hung
You
out and
guarded
saw
them? Nice.
yeah, guarded these for me. So fantastic. So huge thanks to Tyler. You are awesome, buddy.
He is awesome.
He's very awesome. I mean, it's so much fun taking the two of the both him and his brother Tristan to conventions with us because you know they're old enough to wander around on their own now, but also they're like a foot and a half taller than most of the people at the convention. So you know, if I get worried, I can just look. Also, they could probably easily take a majority of the people that are there. So it's not even I really have to worry about them. Right. I do because I'm their uncle and it's required. So that was a really cool get. Also, got to keep the streak alive.
Yes.
And this one, is it fair if I actually know what's in the box? Or is the whole point of this segment is that I've had this for so long that I don't remember what's in there anymore and it's a surprise? I don't remember if there were rules.
Well, we like to see the look of joyful surprise on your face.
I have, yeah, I tend to break my own rules anyway.
I don't know how a fly got in here, but I don't like it.
Go away, Baxter. No one likes you.
Flies in a buttermilk.
just the worst.
You fly.
I have, so because my apartment has been fairly scarce, I have to use what's nearby as a means of opening things. So whenever I see
that's the new bit. It's not what's in the box. Is what random object is Tom going to use? Is it a USB plug-in? Is it a number 2 pencil? Is it what is it going to be this week?
The Two Guys Talking Toys, sponsored by MacGyver. Am I gonna use to get to
Tom would never get caught for murder because there's no telling what he would use to slash the guy open.
Just whatever was nearby. Wow. So I got this off of eBay and I'm very impressed because this
mine's an eBay buy today. What is going on? That's very well packaged.
It is very well. This guy's getting, wow, it is a Russian doll's nest of packaging. Good job, man.
I like to save $3 on that if you just.
Yeah, I like to take some pride in my own packaging because you know no one wants to receive something broken. Or we've all gotten those packages where people just throw whatever in the box and it's rattling around.
Usually I get them for Christmas.
Pulse, tossing things into a too big box.
Hasbro Pulse does do that a lot.
Fantastic. Okay, so I've had my eye on this for a while.
This is a lot of anticipation.
Yeah, so this is. Come here, you.
Get over here.
So, I got to get him in there. There we go.
Oh, nice.
I'm not sure how well you can see him.
There you go, right there. It's good.
It's a spearhead. He's a very hard to find rock lord.
The rock lord's so good.
Yeah, he came out I want to say he came out towards the end of the line. I don't know if he was ever sold in North America because most of the auctions I see are for people that are over in Europe or in Germany.
Huh.
And
I don't recall that character. That's not one that I'm no.
So I've been this rock lords are like kind of a low key thing that I've been collecting. Like I love them. They're hilarious. I love that they're in the GoBots movie. I remember when they first came out. Yeah, I wanted a rock lord. I thought they were neat, but they weren't like a must have. They were just kind of cool to get a hold of if you could get a hold of them. And I would just kind of keep an eye out for him whenever I'd see them on eBay. He's not even trying. He's just keeping an eye out.
He's not even trying. No.
There's no swivel to hide the head or anything. He's just looking around.
It's just a rock with a face.
Over there.
That's my pet rock.
You're looking at me? I'm a rock. Don't look at me.
But I always wondered, like, rock lords. Like, what a boring thing to be the lord of. Like, look at all of my people. They're just
survey my kingdom. Right. I'm the ruler of all you see in Arizona and Kansas. Don't mess with them. But
Rocky. I just thought it was fields of farm.
I always enjoyed just kind of keeping an eye out. This guy though goes for a lot. You know, for a 1980s toy, he goes for a lot of the aftermarket because he's so hard to come across. Yeah. And I lucked out because he's in my saved searches, so I always look for him just to see what he's going for. And I thought that I missed my shot because during COVID, a lot, it was an unfortunate time for a lot of people. So a lot of people were liquidating their collections, and there were a fair amount of spearheads that had popped up online, but I never got one. I did get those shock rocks though. If you remember, like the stone hook guy and roller rock.
I do remember those with the things that
yeah, they were really neat. But he eluded me, and I stumbled across what must have been an estate sale. Because saw the price, and I immediately thought, "There's no way that's correct. That's not right." So I read through the whole description. It very much was spearhead, had all the pictures of them and different poses and whatever. And I was like, "Are you sure this isn't for like tombstone? Because it's too much for tombstone, but it's way too little for spearhead." And I was like, "Well, why not give it a shot? If it's not what I wanted, I can send it back and get my money back." And it's very much him. So this is an awesome little, like, he's not quite a grail, but he was one that I've had my eye on for a while. So this is neat. Join the collection, spearhead.
Join the rock collection.
Next on the list is that really cool rock dinosaur combiner. One day I'll get him.
One day. I have faith in you. My gets this week were also on eBay. You know those Beast Lab doohickeys, right? That we keep looking at, and they're $50-$60 still. Now I've seen them go on clearance for $40, but on eBay I found 2 of the figures on auction, and I picked them up. Only $4 shipping, and 99 cents for the 2 of them. I got them.
Really? That's fantastic.
And one of them you're gonna love, because if this guy doesn't get posed with your Masters of the Universe snake men, then you're just a broken idiot.
There were 2 snake ones that that looks awesome. Yeah.
Right?
How's the articulation on that?
He's got knee joints, ball hip joints, knees, ball shoulders, elbows, and the head. And he's got a cool like light up action. If I turn him on and press this button.
Yes. Oh, that is
lights.
Awesome. It never dawned on me to look for them out of the package. Good.
Yeah, I was kind of the other day, and I was looking for him, and then I got the T-Rex guy.
Also very cool. Oh, you could absolutely put him with the T-Rex from last week, and have him hang out with your Cretaceous.
Yeah, here he is.
Oh, that's so cool. Oh, he's still got him on time.
Oh yeah, he's much bigger.
See,
this is a championship tag team right here.
Yeah, see, those monsters are cool. They are not $50-$60 cool.
No, but 50 cents a piece. Man. And this little doohickey comes off.
Do they glow in the dark? It looks like it should glow in the dark.
It does look like it should.
Please, he looks like me again.
And he's got the
it's very McFarlane Doomsday.
He's got the light up, charge up too.
That is, does he make sounds? He's got the little speaker thing in the front.
Yeah, it's making sounds. You probably can't hear it.
He's like, "Stop touching me! Stop it! I need an adult."
Yeah, hey now. Yeah, I mean they've got the little legs, but that adds to the aesthetic, I think.
Does he swivel at the waist?
Yes. Oh wait, it looks like he has a punch action.
Wow, all right, that's pretty cool.
I didn't know
very
that.
Much belongs.
Yeah,
very much belongs to the
old school He-Man punch.
Does the Snake Guy have that as well?
Let's see.
Not to be left behind on the articulation. Oh, he came to bring it. That's great. I need that Snake Guy, because that's
you definitely need the Snake Guy.
Absolutely need it.
He's much bigger than the He-Man guys, but he would look fantastic behind the Snake Man. I mean, he's basically a Snake Man. He's same kind of look with the shorter legs. Yeah,
he's 100% like a snake beast that King Hiss would call for to menace the Masters.
And they're big.
I gotta get him so he can.
They're as big as my face.
That is, it's awesome.
That's my new measuring tool.
I How many?
Whenever I have to measure length, I just put my face on the ground, and I'm like, they're like, how far is that? And I'm like, that's like 15 faces.
that far, huh? That's that's awesome. I need those to go with Lady Slither's Snakeman lair whenever they fix it up and get it out to us.
Yeah, 99 cents, two of them, $4 shipping. Bam.
All right, so
That's the deal of the week right there.
that is the deal. You win. I need a little like Price is Right.
Come on down.
You got closest to $1 without going over. Like you literally got closest to $1 without going over.
And I figured, I don't know, somebody's gonna bid on them, right? So I put my highest bid at $10. I was like, I'll spend $10, $5 a piece. Right. No one bid, 99 cents. Bam.
I saw one of those in a Walmart in the clearance area for 25, and I stood there and stared at it. And at the end of the staring was just like, nah.
Right.
It's still not.
Because you don't need the whole thing.
$5, 99 cents plus $4 shipping. That's you can't get any better than that.
Can't get any better than that.
I'm gonna play some Price.
Speaking of great things.
Ooh, great thing. This could lead to a number of things.
Speaking of great things, yes, we're going to have lots of things tonight because I want to talk about the Fantastic Four.
Oh, good plan.
That's
I
the
like
greatest thing, right?
Better than the Nabisco thing.
I always like that. I don't know if you ever seen the movie Reservoir Dogs. One of the first Tarantino, when he's talking about what was that actor's name? I think his last name was Tierney, the old guy. And he's like, MFer looks like the Thing.
And everyone knows what you're talking about. Like, as soon as you say the Thing, everyone knows.
Everyone knows.
We've all seen the Hanna-Barbera cartoon where the geeky guy turns into the Thing. Was he named in that series? Was he named Ben Grimm, or was he something else? I completely forgot. I know
there was the one with the Thing ring, do your thing, where he would turn like he was human, and then he would have this ring.
He would turn
for some inexplicable reason where he would turn into the Thing. I think it was Ben Grimm.
It was.
Yeah.
Tiny nerdy man, Ben Grimm. You know, tiny nerd, Ben Grimm.
I wonder what made him make that the way they did with the ring thing, do your thing, which is a ridiculous, phrase to say. But
they were so obsessed with teens turning into things like Turbo Teen. And
why'd you become Turbo Teen?
My nephews and I saw a random
horrifying transformation scene. I mean, it's that's first place, and second place is American Werewolf in London. Like those are the two most horrifying transformation scenes.
I want to see Cronenberg's take on Turbo Teen.
I have a weird relationship with the Fantastic Four. Even when I was a kid, I was like, Fantastic Four. I'm not really into them. But what turned me on to the Fantastic Four was the bad guys. So I never really had Fantastic Four toys when I was a kid because they weren't in the Secret Wars line that we spoke about, the 1984 Secret Wars. We didn't have any Fantastic Four then. And there were the Mego stuff in 75, but like we weren't in the Mego, so we didn't get them.
Yeah.
So not until like the 90s, 94 or 90 Toy Biz line. That was just before they broke into the Fantastic Four and all that, just the Marvel Comics line. We finally had them, and the Thing was cool. The Torch was weird because he came with these fireballs that looked like fire ice cream cones. Like they were supposed to look like a fireball flying, with the tail like a comet, but you couldn't put it in his hand like this.
Yeah,
it fit this way, and it looked like a flaming ice cream cone, which was weird. The Sue Storm was poorly designed and looked like almost like an adventure person, but not as detailed. And Reed Richards was the same, very thin, very just blah. The initial givings. So even again, I was like, the Thing figure was pretty cool. He had some kind of punch action, right? Johnny Storm looked weird because he looked like it had that like the red stripes, and then had little holes in the shape of like little flames. They looked
Yeah.
almost like a jack-o'-lantern, but he had that straight Asian look. He almost looked like Lord Zed. He had that kind of
Oh yeah, they were trying to figure out. They were still kind of trying to work out how to handle both
right,
effect parts, hence the weird looking fireballs, and
right. And he had
how
like
to
a
do
fire like
his
platform thing that you can make him fly
yeah,
on.
because they needed to make him they needed to make him look like he was sort of on fire, but also wanted to mimic the comics. You got like those weird striations.
Right, he
It's like
looked like he had just been skinned. Right, it was just
the
it was
amazing
off-putting.
screaming Johnny Storm.
Right, it was not good. It wasn't good.
I'm raw.
Yeah. So again, I was like, like I'll get the thing, and the other ones were just horrible givings. I just didn't want them. The Stu Storm was the worst of them, and it took
You know,
years to get a good
as
Stu
far
Storm figure.
yeah, I think as far as like play, like if you're younger and you get the Fantastic Four, and and especially if we're talking like early, what was it, like early Toy Biz, where they first
Yeah,
popped
yeah,
up.
yeah, 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 yeah.
If you're getting early Toy Biz stuff, you can use the thing because he's big bulky, and his quote unquote, is no pun intended, his thing is punching people and throwing them around and whatever. And even with
Yeah,
Johnny
because it's
Storm,
clobbering time.
yeah, even with Johnny Storm, you can kind of pretend, okay, well, I'm throwing these at them, I'm on fire, and this works. With Sue Storm, the Invisible Woman, one, if she's flesh colored and normal, then it's kind of
Right,
tough to, you're like, suddenly I'm just not here. And I guess you just talk to whatever's not there. And if
right. You just
Mr.
take the toy
Fantastic,
away and pretend. Yeah,
yeah, if Mr. Fantastic isn't stretchy, then it's like, okay, well, I guess these two can be in the Baxter building doing
right.
science, because what else am I going to do
Doing
with them?
science. Yeah.
Doing,
Um,
that's actually what Reed would rather be doing, and Sue has to convince him otherwise. But I
right. She just turns invisible and walks away.
out of here.
Right. And then yeah, so how we would play, because the Reed didn't have any stretch effects or anything, and he
Mhm.
was a thin guy.
Yeah.
So you'd kind of do this like with your hand, like the figure's there, and you kind of do this down his arm, like so. If I had Reed Richards. I don't have a Reed Richards around, but uh like if this was Reed Richards, if I was playing and he had to stretch and grab someone, I'd
Yeah.
go and like
Yeah, you make like the stretchy sound.
yeah, and then
Yeah, he
grab
totally
yeah.
stretched with my imagination.
Right, which is fine, which is fine. Most of the Reed Richards toys that had some sort of stretch effect
Mhm.
affected the figure in the negative,
Yeah, it took a
especially
long
when
time.
yeah.
Took a long
And
time
then
for them to kind of figure that out. And even then, even if you do have the stretch, it's more, he's just a build a figure. There's no practical way
right,
to do a Reed Richards that is something you can pose and do action stuff with, and then have a stretching effect that doesn't look ridiculous, or like you
right,
only use it for a minute, and then you've got to be like, well, I can't have his arm constantly stretched
right,
out, so he just needs to be a build a figure at all times.
right. And they tried, Toy Biz tried,
Yeah,
because then they did the
a lot of stuff.
Fox had the cartoon block, right? So
Oh
they
man,
had a lot of luck with X-Men, and then they
that,
did the Fantastic Four cartoon. So then Toy Biz did their own Fantastic Four line in like
mhm.
94, 95.
Yeah,
And
the more cartoon based figures, I think they had a lot of success with.
they did.
Especially
And oh, and the original givings gave us a Doctor Doom, though, which I was excited about,
mhm.
because I had the Secret Wars Doctor Doom, and then the Marvel Comics gave us a Doctor
Mhm.
Doom that had the spinning hand
Yeah.
doohickey. And then
Did
but the
they
best one, go ahead.
did they ever make a Mole Man?
They did. They did in the Fantastic Four line that we just started talking about, the animated one.
Mhm.
Is a
Okay.
mole man, and he was big. Like he wasn't big, like
Yeah.
buff, but he was a chubby guy,
Yeah.
and he was a great figure, actually, very cool figure. Looked just like he was drawn in the comics with the green
Mhm.
collar and the. He kind of looked he looked like if Mel Brooks put on like 50 pounds, and
We're long overdue for him in the current Marvel Legends line.
We really are. But he was well done. And that figure
Mhm.
line did well. But what they tried to do with Reed Richards is they had the regular sculpt much better than the initial giving. His face looked good. He
Mhm.
had the white hair,
Yeah.
uh, you know, but he had knee joints, but he
Mhm.
had like these weird, okay, so the shoulders were like a plastic piece, almost like a football pad, right?
Okay.
And then instead of having shoulder joints, he had these rubber arms
Okay.
that were straight and fisted, and they didn't have joints because they were, but you could grab them
Yeah.
and stretch, but not far. You could only stretch them
Mhm.
maybe 2 inches, right?
Yeah.
So it was a failed attempt, but they actually gave him stretchy arms, and it
Yeah.
didn't go very well. That Sue Storm was a little bit better, but you got
Mhm.
two Ben Grimm in that line, and one of them looked like, the comic, and then
Mhm.
one looked more cartoony, and that's the one that came the hat and the sunglasses
Yes.
and the trench coat. And I thought that was a cool, like when you take the trench coat off, he's very cartoony, very animated looking.
Yeah.
But I like that. But
Mhm.
I really dug that figure with the hat and the sunglasses. I thought that was a
Yeah.
cool thing.
That was always, because I always liked that idea for Ben Grimm, that one, it's kind of a silly disguise, but it works for him, and now
It
like an
works for the
iconic
Ninja
look.
Turtles, so why shouldn't it
Yeah,
work for Ben Grimm?
and he's wandering around, and just people just accept that this this giant orange man in a trench coat is that's fine. That's
Yeah,
fine. It's but yeah, it made for a cool looking toy. Even though that, like, they were still trying to figure that out as well. Because I kind of remember that being not the best plastic. Like, it was thin plastic, so it was almost wrapping a grocery bag around him.
yeah.
Like,
The
I
coat was
figured it
made
out yet.
poorly. But the
Yeah.
figure was robust. Like it was a good hefty figure.
Hmm.
But yeah, the coat, once you took it off, once you weren't getting it back on the same way that you that it was. But you know what, that line did give us a lot of villains that
Yeah.
we didn't have. It gave us Fire Lord,
Yes.
it gave us some
It gave us
surfers.
it gave us a lot of the cosmic
Yeah,
entities, because
yeah.
I remember Galactus from that line
And that's
being
the
the first.
Galactus that we got. Yeah.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, because we got, who do we wind up getting? We yeah, like you said, we got Fire
Terrax,
Lord. Hmm?
Terrax.
Yes, we got
There was a
Terra.
Terrax in there.
Um, did we get Blastar in that
Yes.
line?
Yep.
Come later.
No, Blastar was in that line too.
Okay, I kind of remember him being there. Yeah, we got a lot of the cosmic entities, which was
And
nice.
then we got another Doom. We got a cool Doctor Doom.
When did
Um,
Annihilus pop up? Because, like, I want to say he was kind of early on as
he
well.
was kind of early, and that was a good figure. Like that was a big figure. It's like I had the
Yeah,
weird, like his legs like went out, so the
yeah.
knees would kind of buckle after a while.
Hmm.
But he had the good solid wings, and they were well done because they were good and solid, but they weren't really big. Like they weren't much past his shoulders. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? So it wasn't like this great big thing, which is why I think the wings, they spread the legs out to balance the wings, but that weight
yeah,
kind of had buckle because it was heavy. Like they were solid wings. Oh, Dragon Man. Dragon
yes.
Man was in
And
that line. That
and
original Dragon Man was cool too.
have you pre-ordered your Dragon Man on
I
Hasbro Pulse?
haven't. I haven't. Only
Well,
because I saw it and got excited and I was at work when I saw it. And then I
uh,
didn't have time to go order it, but I had forgotten about it until just now. But that
I
original Dragon Man was neat. I thought it was cool.
it
He was
was really
very
cool.
compact. But
Yeah,
he was a big bodied, but the wings were
mhm.
very compact.
Yeah, which is kind of a shame, because I'm sure at the time they weren't thinking about, we can just parse him out in pieces, or like not make a build a figure, but kind of the way that they package Andre the Giant, the that kind of Masters version
Right.
where he just doesn't have his shins attached. But because, yeah, this Dragon Man's supposed to be this big hulking figure. I'm glad that they got to him later. Kind of a shame that it was so hard to get a hold of him, because I never ever saw the update, the most recent Dragon Man up until the newest one that we just saw.
Right.
Uh,
There was that like
Never
third
saw him.
party one. You sent me a link one time,
Mhm.
and I don't remember where it was from or but you sent me a link. And did you order that one?
No, I think those were reproductions of the Toy Biz one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I always came this close to getting him, and then I just didn't. Like, I always wanted him,
Yeah.
but my fear would be, there were some really well done high end knockoffs or replicas. I wasn't
Yeah.
sure whether or not Dragon Man was gonna. It wasn't that expensive. I think it was maybe like 40 something bucks.
Right.
But now that we've got the new one coming, now there's kind of no reason to get him. Or if he does start to dip in price, because they're trying to unload them now, because people are going to want the new one, maybe I'll pick
Right.
up one too, because he still looks cool. He's still a really
Yeah.
cool figure.
Yeah,
you weren't getting.
absolutely. You know what? Marvel Legends came around.
That was when I started paying more attention
And it
to
still
Fantastic
took them
Four
a
characters.
long time to do the Fantastic Four, right?
Yeah, because that original thing that came with the open hand,
Oh,
the
with the
open hand,
bendy
like
fingers. Yeah.
yep,
He's like, why
gonna,
I oughta. Yeah.
gonna let you have it. But yeah,
Yeah, he was
it
in the
was real.
package like jazz hands. He was like,
Yep. And they took a couple of swings. And again, it was early. It was early toy days, so they were still
yeah.
trying to
That thing I
figure
think was in
things
the
out.
first wave.
He's kind of small. Well, so here's a question for you. Where do you land on the size of the thing, like as far as the line? Like I know the original Jack Kirby depiction of the Fantastic Four has the thing. He's not actually not that much larger than
He's
everyone
like
else.
short and stout. Yeah.
Yeah, because the
Like a
whole their
teapot.
yeah, that was their whole thing. Like he's the muscle, and he wasn't this giant hulking thing. But I prefer that. Like
I do.
there's a lot of comics where you'll see the silhouette of Ben, and then the rest of the other three are standing in front of him, and he just kind of rounds everything out. And I like that, like visually, just as a silhouette. I like that distinction. Like he's the big guy, and his relationship with the Hulk kind of keeps it grounded. Where
Right.
the big guy, like you don't, if you're a bad guy, if I'm like part of the wrecking crew, or like not quite, I'm not a Galactus Herald, but I'm also not like, I don't know, I'm not Stilt Man. I'm in the middle. Like I can do some damage. You don't want to see the thing show up at a fight.
No.
I like the idea of him being just a little bit bigger. Like he's not going to pound you into mush like the Hulk, but he is going to pound you. So
Right. Yeah.
I
Some of the
like
best
that.
fights, like Thing and the Rhino, right? Is
Yes.
because there's sort of those like they're really strong, but they're
Mhm.
not Thor, they're not the Hulk, they're not.
Yeah.
Yeah, that first line, I think him a little bit bigger is better. Not
Mhm.
maybe not quite as big as the Hulk, but
Yeah. I don't
definitely
think
bigger
9 feet
than
tall.
Michael Chiklis was. Um, I like that, that first round of Marvel Legends, that thing with the bendy hands was
Mhm.
in that first, and then so was the Hulk, but the Hulk was old school where he looked more
Yeah.
like Frankenstein's monster. He had that kind
Mhm.
of scruffy hair, like
Yeah.
he looked more monstrous. So, um, yeah, they got a couple of good thing figures, but I still haven't seen one yet that knocks my socks off. And
Really? I think my all time favorite Thing figure, that I still use to this day, despite the number of Thing figures that have come out, is the Diamond Select version.
Diamond, yeah, that one I meant from Marvel Legends. I haven't seen one that
Oh,
I like.
okay.
The Diamond Select is my favorite thing figure. That's
Oh, so
fantastic.
you like the uh I wrote they started releasing them as Walgreens exclusives. You know, like that version of the Thing?
It's all right. Yeah, like there were a couple that were good, but they're not
He's okay.
Diamond Select. They're
I
not
wouldn't
the
throw him in
Diamond
the trash.
Select. I wouldn't, yeah, I wouldn't throw him at somebody. I wouldn't try and skip him across the lake. But he doesn't do it. And then they finally just a little while ago got a good Sue Storm, but we haven't had a good
Yes.
Sue Storm. It like, and then when you get them, they're like half invisible, which that plastic
I,
turns weird colors.
I
And
I like that Marvel Legends was able to do. I think they got the modern look for Sue Storm.
yeah,
Um, I like that we got a clear. I would like them to do a clear version of that Walgreens exclusive,
yeah,
because they re-released her in the more kind of like 1970s look, where she's got the bob and
right.
the face. I know I can see what they were going for. The face
Oh,
on that
right. There
figure
was
is not the best. It's a little,
no.
yeah,
It was a good figure though. It was by
it's a
far
little
the best Sue
Stepford
Storm
wife.
we've gotten.
Yeah, it's a little Stepford wife looking, but that's the invisible version that we got, and I kind of wish they would revisit that and give us the invisible version of the more modern looking Sue Storm.
Right,
Uh,
right.
I like that they've been able to get to more of their costumes, because we've gotten the classic look, but it's kind of a shame that that was like kind of the Walgreens exclusive.
Right,
But then they re-released them in their kind of blue, and when they started incorporating the black, and that
right.
looks pretty cool. But everyone wants the classic.
Everyone's
The
classic.
classic
How about
look.
that set that was the Fantastic Four when they had the white? There was the
Oh,
box set, and it
the
was
Future
Thing,
Foundation.
Reed Richards, Sue
Mhm.
Storms, and Herbie.
Yes. I forgot
There
about
was no
Herbie.
Johnny Storm.
I completely forgot about Herbie. I, now, was he? What did he come from the cartoon, or was he always in the comics? I'm
I
sorry,
want to
comics
say
people, I don't remember.
I want, yeah, like I said, I ignored the Fantastic Four for a long time. I think he was in the comics.
He seemed like comedy relief. He was always kind of maybe like the Kenny character that was constantly getting broken and had to be rebuilt. They'd send him into horrible situations,
Right,
stomped
right,
on. Maybe that was more for the cartoon. I don't remember offhand.
right.
Uh,
Then there was the first movie. Was it, when was that? 2005 ish.
somewhere around there. That was rough times.
And then in like 2005 ish, is that when the
Mhm.
movie came out?
Yeah, I think that was a situation where I can't fault the toys for looking the way they did because they actually did a very good job of representing the live action characters.
Yeah, not so bad.
I've just never been a fan of toys of live action characters. Like I'm impressed that they managed to make the Thing look like Michael Chiklis playing the Thing in the movie.
Yeah, yeah. The Thing figures weren't so bad. We did get that Sue Storm that was invisible up to her like thighs, like that's
Yes.
transformation. That wasn't so bad.
Which
I
Reed
have a bunch of
Richards
them. I have the Dr. Dooms,
was
of
that the
course.
line? Was it the movie line that had the Reed Richards that had the slinky body? Where you could stretch him just like in an actual slinky, and it was just kind of weird. But
Yeah,
I always want to give them credit for trying new things because Reed Richards is such a tricky kind of character for to have such a basic power.
yeah,
It's so
it's hard.
tough to capture that in plastic and not have it look ridiculous.
Yeah, and they did one where he had the parts that had the long neck, very plastic man-y
Yes, I
kind of
remember
parts.
where
Yeah,
he was like very stretched in the middle.
yeah,
Uh, so you just had this incredibly long figure on your shelf. You had to figure out what
right.
to do with. Make him into a caterpillar, maybe.
Yeah.
Do you remember the this is when Toy Biz was just rolling along and cranking them out. That 4-pack, the House of M 4-pack,
With
where
the
it came
sand
with
thing.
yes, where the what do they call him? The It. It was a different
Right.
name. Like he wasn't called the Thing. I think he was like called the It. Yeah, you had the collar, and then you had the demonic version of Johnny Storm.
Yeah,
And I really, I
that was a
don't.
cool figure. The
Yeah,
Thing was so
I don't.
sad though.
I, he was trapped in a box set with the Hulk. He's so
Yeah.
sad. He's like, why does he get cool tattoos and I get a collar, I get a shock
Yeah,
collar.
I got a humpback and a frown.
But there's still so many versions of the Thing that we kind of still need. I'm sorry, I'm hung up on. You can't tell.
Oh
He's my
yeah.
favorite. He's my favorite member of the group,
Oh, of
and
course.
like the only character. Like I had the giant, like 7 or 8 inch version of him that Toy Biz put out when they were cranking out the giant
Right.
heroes. But I was always fascinated because I didn't read the comic story behind it. I was fascinated by Thing in the Iron Mask. Remember he had a mask for a while?
Yes, yes.
Because apparently I wound up reading up on it because I was fascinated with it. And I was like, I don't know why he's wearing a mask, but it looks super cool. He got cut by Wolverine.
Wolverine, yeah. And he had
Yeah, and
the
he was
scar across his brow.
it's like the
And it's
original.
like,
He's the
yeah.
original hamburger spawn, apparently.
Here's the thing, like Ren Grimm gets turned into the Thing, right? And he thinks he's a monster, and he thinks he's ugly, and he thinks he's disfigured in such a way that makes him grotesque, right?
Uh,
And then, but he doesn't wear a mask. And then he gets a slash, just scratched his rock, and now he wants to wear a mask, right?
I'm a monster. Don't look at me.
I'm even more of a monster.
Well, that was the weirdest part of that whole story. That apparently he's like fleshy meat underneath there, which I'm sure has been retconned out of it by now. But
Right.
I think that was the reason they had the mask. They're like, you've got exposed like pork meat underneath your rock. Oh my lord!
I guess it's like
Weird.
Colossus, like he's just got metal skin.
Yeah,
right?
you figured he's just metal all the way through, or do you figure the thing is just constant rock? And apparently, according to this story, he is not. But we have
I guess not,
gotten
because he still has to eat,
evidence of
right? So
that.
he still has to have organs.
That's true. He does still eat food,
Yeah.
but you always wonder if that's like out of habit or if he's just doing it to do. He's like, I don't know where it goes. It just It's in there.
We need to talk about that. I think you like the thing most because he would hang out with the Ninja Turtles. Like they would put on their 5
Oh,
trench coats
100%.
and go
They
get
would
pizza
absolutely.
down on
Yep.
Yancey Street. You know, they'd hang out. Same neighborhood,
100%. This is what I don't know.
same type of neighborhood.
Marvel needs to do whatever it is that they need to do to get in on all these Ninja Turtle crossovers because they've like I don't
Right.
think
Apparently,
DC,
all you have to do is say please.
yeah, because I don't think DC has, I don't know what kind of exclusive whatever, or if they have an exclusive whatever with them, but Marvel needs to get the Ninja Turtles in the same room as the X-Men so we can have this conversation about mutants. And also
Yes.
put them with the Fantastic Four because that's also just begging to happen.
Right.
Uh,
The Ninja Turtles and the Thing hanging out, that's got to happen.
I there's, but like I was saying, there's still all these other versions of him that we need to get. We need Pineapple Thing where when for and I don't know the storyline reason behind it when he became super spiky for whatever.
Yes.
I want
Yes.
that version of the Thing. I also
Pineapple
want
Thing.
we'll never. I feel like we'll never get it, but I would love to get the design that they did for him in Fear itself. Did you see the redesigns they did for some of the
No,
characters?
no, no, I don't.
Oh, it's a fun story. It was one of those when Marvel was having like a big event every summer,
Right.
and this summer the thing was Fear itself, and it was what if they were also going through that phase where what if every hero was a specific hero? Like what if everybody was Spider-Man, or what if
Right.
everybody was
Oh,
Venom?
then that went
Uh,
into their regular stories. Like, what if everybody
yeah,
was Wolverine? What if everybody was
and,
Venom? What if everybody
yeah,
was
and for this story, it was what if everybody was Thor? So uh, a bunch of villains and random heroes got hammers, like different hammers, like Mjolnir, but they all did different things.
okay?
So Titania got one, Absorbing Man, Juggernaut got one, the Hulk, and Thing. I think like also Gargoyle and
Oh,
Sin.
Great Gargoyle
Yeah,
was another one figure that we got
yeah.
with the Fantastic Four.
But the Thing, when he gets his hammer, gets this really cool, like his orange becomes black and he has red lines in the separations between his rock, and
Huh.
he has these strange, almost like starro creatures that are latched onto him. Instead of an eyeball, they had mouths. So it was a really strange thing, and the Fantastic Four has to fight him and kind of like talk him down and get him
Huh.
to give up the hammer. It's a really cool design. I would love to get a toy of it,
Nice.
but I
He
don't know if
wouldn't be able to go
it's the final.
fight rock giants with his hammer like Thor does.
You'd think, and that's another figure that I'm kind of amazed we haven't gotten. Uh, we've gotten movie Korg, but we don't have a comic accurate Korg, and all you have to do
Right.
is take the Thing's body and just put a cone head on it.
Right. Yeah.
Pretty simple, but no such luck.
Well, get your people on that, Tom.
I'll get them on there. I'll right after I get McFarlane to make me a glow in the dark Doomsday.
Right. I don't
What's he waiting
understand.
for?
It's just waiting for you to say please. I don't understand why I have this weird relationship with the Fantastic Four because without, there were plenty of franchises and cartoons that I loved as a kid, like the Bionic Six
Mhm.
and others that you wouldn't have if you didn't have the Fantastic Four, right? That kind of
Yeah,
superhero family. The Incredibles, we wouldn't have the Incredibles.
yeah. They're such an interesting group because they're very much that dysfunctional family that
Yeah.
we can all relate to it. And I think that I know that I'm very critical of the movies as superhero movies go,
Right.
but I'll give the Fox Fantastic Four 1 and 2 credit. They got their family dynamic down perfect.
And they did
The
Silver Surfer correctly.
Yeah, the Silver Surfer was actually done well. I mean, aside from the stupid his powers attached to the board, like, visually he looked great, and his
Right.
character made the way that they handled his personality that made sense. But yeah,
Yeah.
like the picking between Johnny and Thing was great. Reed Richards, who was clearly supposed to be Ian Malcolm, didn't quite work out. They're like, who else can we get? Their relationship with Sue was perfect.
Mhm.
Just being absent-minded and not really meaning it, but that's just how he is. He's a scientist. Those movies they were on point for that. They just
I
suck
agree.
superhero movies, and I don't know why Doctor Doom always has to be part of the group that was like just put him in Latveria. That's where he
Right.
belongs.
Just make Doctor Doom Doctor Doom. A guy in a metal suit. I don't understand why this is so hard.
Black Adam before Black Adam.
Mhm.
He rules a country with an iron fist, and they love him for it. Give me more of
I
that. Also,
too. I need more Dr. Dooms.
give me a nihilist. Like I think you're right in that the Fantastic Four has such a great rogues gallery that you don't really think about because you know we especially now when we've become so focused on Thanos and you know a lot of the other characters. The Fantastic Four rogues gallery is super deep and super rich. Like I would love to see, you know, aside from Doctor Doom and the obvious
Yeah.
Annihilation, I would love to actually get that. Get I've said this before. It blows my mind that people are on board to see giant monsters punching each other. How have we not gotten a Fantastic Four movie that starts just start the movie with them fighting Mole Man, and he's got giant monsters rampaging in the
Right.
city, and then make those toys. Make make giant monster toys for
Right.
Mole Man. They don't have to be super articulated. You can go the McFarlane.
Yes, start the movie that way. The Fantastic Four is already the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, give us a few like just giant rotocast monsters for him to place around him, and like miniature Fantastic Four with Mole Man and his giant monsters. Give us that. Same thing with Annihilus. If you're looking to make if you're looking to make easy troop builders, the Annihilation Swarm, that's your go-to, and they're Fantastic Four buildings.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with bug monsters. Can't go wrong with bug monsters. Well, we're gonna skip talking about the reboot Fantastic Four movie because it was just god awful when they turned Doctor Doom into a Annihilus.
Yeah, clearly meant to be Annihilus, and I don't know what happened there. Were there toys made for that version of the movie? I don't think there were, because I don't recall there being like a Michael B. Jordan Human Torch figure.
I don't think there were. I don't think so.
Maybe
wrong, nor was I looking for them. So if they existed,
the less said about that terrible thing, the better. I really hope that that Marvel can get their stuff together and give us a good. I have high hopes for whatever their Fantastic Four plans are.
Right, but you know, in closing, I'll agree with you that the Thing is the best character, and nothing would make me buy a comic book faster when I was a kid than seeing the Hulk and the Thing fighting on the cover. Even though I wasn't a Fantastic Four fan, if I saw the Hulk and the Thing on the cover, I was buying it.
And the Thing is one of those characters that has completely infiltrated pop culture. One of the fact that CM Punk from WWE has incorporated "It's Clobberin' Time" into his entrance, so that's now like synonymous with him, is really cool and really awesome, because everyone knows exactly what he means. Everyone knows exactly who it's from. I saw a great piece of fan art with the Thing wearing a CM Punk shirt, yelling "It's Clobberin' Time." So good.
That is good.
Give us more of that. I like the role that Marvel Legends is on right now with the Fantastic Four, and I hope we keep getting some more. The Diamond Select did a Mr. Fantastic recently.
Did they? I didn't know.
Yeah, he doesn't look bad. Like he's a well done representation of the character, and he comes with this attachment. You know, like we were saying, it's really hard to mimic his stretchy effect, but there's an effect piece that comes with him, and it's essentially him having wrapped somebody up. So you get the outside part of that, and I don't know if the torso is detachable, so you can attach that to the top of the effect piece, but you can put like whatever villain that he's.
Oh, that's awesome! That's clever. Whoever did that, that's nice. Pretty neat. Yeah, so, I just saw a costume like that at Target. It was a snake, like an inflatable snake. You put it on you, and you blow it up, and it looks like you're being crushed by a snake.
Oh, paint that into Cobra Commander. Walk around with it. Right.
We're on it.
So, all right. Well, I guess are we at the end?
We are.
We're closing up shop, and
we're closing it up. It's closing time.
Freedom Plaza.
We're closing it up.
Sounds good. All right. Well, that'll do it for us for another week of two guys talking toys. Thank you for joining us. If you like what you are hearing and watching, please like and subscribe to the channel. Get a hold of us on Twitter. Our handle is Two Guys Talking Toys. That is the number 2, no G after the talking. Same thing for our Gmail. You can jump on our Instagram. It is 2G Talking Toys. Take care, everybody.
Ciao.
I always wanted to see an episode where like the ring thing doesn't work and he just clobbers somebody with it because it can still do some damage.